Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So today I want to look at Shoutmon. Specifically, this is going to be the Crossheart deck that is expected to take the meta by storm. We'll see how it plays out, but I want to kind of break it down. I want to, for those that aren't aware, kind of talk about the win con, just the generic win con of the deck and just kind of what it's expected to do and what your goal is. But then also for everyone else, as well as the players, I want to show where the weaknesses are. So one, if you are playing the deck, you can see where your weaknesses might be and try to plan for outs for these kind of things, as well as if you're trying to go against Shoutmon, we're going to show you some very, very solid techs that you can work into your decks and that really counter the deck really hard. Now, if you are playing a Shoutmon deck, look at our new memory marker. We've got the Starmons here. The Pikmon is fabulous. This is handmade out of clay by my wife, hand painted as well. Very cool. Great memory marker for this deck. If you plan on playing Shoutmon Crossheart, this format, just in general, this is a great one to pick up because this is pretty much your go-to egg for this deck every single time. So just absolutely fabulous memory marker there. You can find that on our Etsy page, link in the description below. Also there you can find all of our previous memory markers that we've had on the channel, as well as some of our Battle Ready Inc. merch. All right, so starting off, the idea is to go into your Shoutmon, either the X4 or the X5. The idea is to hard play these guys for either 1 play cost or 0 play cost using the Digicross mechanic. So just if you place these specific cards listed on it underneath, you reduce the play cost. Now, just hard playing it, normally it would have Summoning Sickness, but remember, we're working in the Shoutmon, which is part of the Digicross requirements to reduce the play cost, and it gives it rush. So that's really great, giving your Shoutmon rushes, so your Cross 4 and your Cross 5 will have rush. And so you use your Tamers, I believe the blue and the green on play, they can play a champion from hand, and then if those get hit in security right during your opponent's turn, you get to play out those free champions, and then those champions just get to swing into security for free on your turn. On deletion, they save underneath the Tamers, right? And then you use your Mikey's ability to suspend himself. And instead of using hand resources for Digicross, you use the Tamers, the Digimon underneath the Tamers for your Digicross. So now you're hard playing these Shoutmons, and the idea is that they get deleted if it's the Cross 5. You want the Cross 5 to get deleted. He has Security Tank +1 to kind of help ensure that he does get deleted. And then they have material saves, so they can save part of their resources underneath, and allows them to keep going. And keep playing more and more Shoutmons in a single turn. So the idea is to crash early with your other level 4s, and then you finish the game out with multiple Shoutmons. This Shoutmon in particular, though, he has a great ability of end of attack. He likes to basically delete himself, and he material saves everything underneath himself, and he unsuspends a Tamer like Mikey, who is like the key piece to keep this deck going. So that's kind of like the overall strategy, is to go into your Cross 4, Cross 5s and win the game. Now, a big key to that was either they get deleted on the check that they swing into, or end of attack, they basically essentially delete themselves with the Cross 4 to save the materials. So that's the kind of stuff that we're going to be looking at countering specifically. Right off the bat, we've got some pretty obvious ones. We got the new Solarmon. This is out of the new starter deck here. Starter deck 12 is same as Psychmon, but it's red, so players can't reduce play cost, and that's exactly what these Digicross effects do, is they reduce the play cost. So if you can stick something like these guys here, fabulous stuff. I mean, people have already been taking in Psychmons to counter like BL Star decks for a long time now, so you're basically going to continue teching these guys in, but now not only BL Star, but you're also going to be teching against Shoutmon specifically. So two solid cards. Also, they hit Death X. They also prevent Death X from being dropped on the field. So pretty much must-have cards. If you're playing red or purple, I highly recommend working these guys into your deck somewhere. Yeah, they're going to be really impactful, I think. Now, moving on, though, some really great stuff is this next section. And what I really like what they've got going on here is that these are option cards that if they get hit in security, they're not deletion effects. So a big security control thing is like yellow, red, they like to delete stuff either by lowering the DP to 0 or just like straight up Gaia forcing. Unfortunately, you do that against a Shoutmon and they're just going to material save. However, something like Cocytus Breath, where it returns to the hand, is great because you're thinking, well, you're returning that Shoutmon, they're just going to hard play it again. Yeah, but when it bounces to hand, all of those resources, those 4 resources underneath, all get sent to the trash. They don't get to save anything. If you can prevent them from saving their materials, the deck just dies out. Especially if you're getting rid of Shoutmons, not Shoutmons, Shoutmons. If you're getting rid of this Rush inheritable from Shoutmon here, that's hard counter to them. They struggle after that. If they can't put really quick damage on board and they have to like stick something for multiple turns, it's going to be a slug and a slog to get through winning for them. They really rely on that rush mechanic highly. So Cocytus Breath, as well as Metal Storm, which is essentially just Cocytus Breath, return a level 6 or lower to the owner's hands, then unsuspend one of your Digimon with Garurumon. The unsuspend isn't really relevant. It can be a play cost of 5, but really this is just basically a second Cocytus Breath. If you're playing like a BL Star deck, you could have Cocytus and Metal Storm both to help you counter these Shoutmons. That's pretty solid there. But green also has its new stuff. So we have the original Terrace Cluster in here. Return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of their owner's decks. If this gets hit in security, you're going to bottom deck that Shoutmon, which is huge. I mean, that's better than returning to hand. Bottom decking and then trashing all those sources. Super, super strong. 7 play cost there. If you want to work this into your BL Star deck, that also works. It's that nice, comfortable 7 play cost. But there's the new Grandel Soul here, which is you can suspend a target and then bottom deck a suspended target. So just like Terrace Cluster, but just a little bit better. Also, if you have 2 or more green suspended Digimon, you can reduce the memory cost of this by 2. Irrelevant, though. Again, we're just bottom decking, and that's huge. We'd just bottom deck these cards, trash all their sources, especially if they go into like a Cross 5 that has blocker. I think it's reboot blocker on the Cross 5. That's just like a big thing you don't want to deal with. Just use Grandel Soul, suspend it, bottom deck it, and then trash all 5 of those sources. Oh, that's going to devastate them. It's going to devastate them so hard. So really, really cool techs here. I like all these option cards for clearing out the Shoutmons, just because it trashes the sources. We're not deleting. We're avoiding the deletion because the deletion is what they want to happen. So if we can clear them without deleting them, that's going to be very, very ideal. As well as Chaos Degradation is another one of those that you can place the card to the top or bottom of the owner's security stack. Again, it's not deleting it, so then we're still trashing all the sources. This is just another thing you can look at, a yellow-purple option if you want to go that route. That's, again, avoiding the deletion specifically. And I have Holy Wave in here just as a reminder that recovery, if you can out-resource them, because that deck draws a tremendous amount. It has a crazy amount of draw power in that deck, and they cycle through the whole deck rapidly. If you can just keep up pace with the amount of damage they can do, they will deck themselves long before they kill you. So that's just Holy Wave in here is just to talk about recovery. If you play a recovery heavy deck, whether that's like Yellow Hybrid with like the Shakuamons, or you're playing yellow-purple security control, just recover. They can't typically do any kind of OTKs, so stuff like Salamon also works well. If you're at 3 or less and it gets deleted, you can recover. Again, another great target to include into your deck. So every time they try to nickel and dime you with these champions early game, or they try to do 1 or 2 rushes against you, just recover back just numerous times, and they will eventually burn themselves out of resources. Once they burn through all their cross 4s and cross 5s, they're completely dead in the water at that point, basically. So yeah, just that's another way to counter it again. You can also just try to outpace them, so really fast decks, because it doesn't have a whole lot of defensive options available to it, and I mean that literally option cards as well as other things. It doesn't have a ton of stuff, so if you can go really, really fast, maybe Armor Rush, Metal Garurumon X or Imperial, any of these super fast decks, those are going to do really phenomenal against it as well. And of course, there is just the good old fashioned just run Death X. If you can't fit any of these cards we've talked about into your deck, fit in a couple Death X's. I know the prices are crazy, but one or two Death X's, I mean, because their field is filled with Tamers, okay? And every time they play a lot of these Tamers, they also get a body on field. So they've got, 4 or 5 Tamers, they've got 3 or 4 Digimon on field, and then boom, you just drop Death X for free. Drop another Death X for free, and just completely nuke their whole field. Feels really, really solid. Now, when you delete them, they do get to save, which is unfortunate, but if you can de-digivolve a Shoutmon into one of those level 4s, they only get to save that single level 4, so anything else in that stack goes away as well. So that's really solid. Still, Death X is super, super good. It just sets them back so much, and then you've just got this massive body on field that they struggle to deal with, and every single time they in turn it deletes something on their field. So Death X still a super solid card as well. And that's just kind of my 2 cents there, just the cards I'm looking at. Now, if I missed anything, please put in the comment section below any ideas that you've got for that you can share with myself as well as others looking in the comments as well. Just try to help each other out. We all want to combat this meta as much as possible. Some people are saying that this deck might not do anything at all, and hey, cool. I mean, I would love to have another pretty balanced format with lots of decks topping differently every single event. I'm really, really looking forward to a new format.